teamed up with Glenelg Organic Creme Fraiche to create a fabulous dinner party dish, creamy tarragon chicken with wild mushrooms. This is one of my favorite dinner party dishes as it always delights and is really easy to prepare. So the sauce is really special, but amazingly quick and simple and pretty foolproof. So what you'll need for the creamy tarragon sauce: a pat of Glenelg Organic Creme Fraiche, a little bit of Dijon mustard, finely chopped shallots, tarragon, a little bit of corn flour to thicken, and some really good white wine. So this dish we're going to cook all in one pan, but in different stages. So we'll start off by cooking the wild mushrooms. A little bit of light olive oil going into your pan. Get it to a really hot temperature, because mushrooms will cook better, retain their shape, and not ooze out as much liquid if you cook them in a hot pan. So I've just got a selection of mushrooms here. There's shiitake, there's enoki, there's oyster mushrooms, just a general selection. You can hear that sizzle. That means my pan is nice and hot. So we're going to cook these first, and then remove them from the pan and cook our chicken and then our sauce. So wild mushrooms just have a deeper, more intense flavor to them. One of my favorite mushrooms, if you can't get a selection of wild mushrooms, are chestnut mushrooms. They're a deeper color, deeper flavor, and they are actually grown in Ireland. So you just want a brown color on these. You don't want to reduce them down to absolutely nothing. If you're not a fan of mushrooms, as some people aren't, you can, of course, leave this part out completely. The sauce on its own is absolutely delicious. You're not going to miss out on anything. Quick way to do things. Okay, I just have to wait for a second for these guys to brown. I'm going to cheat a bit and add a bit more olive oil. So our mushrooms are browned off slightly. They've reduced a little bit in size, but we haven't lost a huge amount in volume, because you don't want absolutely nothing left of them. There we go. So I'm going to transfer them to a dish and just keep them aside until I'm ready to add them to the sauce again. Now you notice I didn't season the mushrooms. If you add salt to mushrooms while they're cooking, it helps to draw out the moisture, and that's when you end up with a puddle of liquid at the bottom of the pan. There's a lot of flavor going on in the sauce, so they'll get plenty of flavor added to them in a minute. So we'll just keep them aside. So we're going to brown off our chicken. So I've chosen chicken supreme. It's a certain cut of chicken where the bone underneath is actually removed, but you're left with the skin and a little bit of bone. It's a really lovely cut of chicken for a dinner party, because you're getting mostly meat and white meat, which is what most people prefer, but there's still a little bit of crispy skin that you can have. So season both sides. A little bit of a light olive oil in our pan again, because your extra virgin olive oil is going to burn. And all you're going to do at this point is seal off the meat on the fleshy side and make sure the skin is really, really crispy. Okay. So chicken ready to go in. And like we cooked the steak earlier on, you want the chicken skin to go crispy. So don't be moving it around too much. That's not going to achieve anything. So I can hear it bubbling away, get a good color on it. This is your only opportunity to actually color the chicken. Make sure I'm getting all sides of it, so I'm just pushing it down. The chicken in total will cook for about 20 minutes, so you can be rest assured that it will be completely cooked through. You're not going to end up with any pink chicken on the inside. So just seal it off properly. It's about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. Let's check on our crispy skin. Oh, gorgeous color on that. Look at that. So that's what you want to see, a nice golden crispy skin. So again, this is called a chicken supreme. That's what butchers would call it. And very, very nice cut of chicken. So you just want to make sure the fleshy side is also well sealed. Nice brown color on it. So at this point, obviously, it's just sealed. It's not cooked through. We'll get plenty of cooking time shortly. So get your chicken, transfer it to a plate, and just leave it to rest there for a few minutes. So at this point, we're going to fry off our shallots. So just put a little bit of butter in the pan. You've already got some olive oil in there. And a couple of finely chopped shallots. This ingredient is really key to the recipe. Don't leave it out or swap it for an ordinary onion, because shallots have a really sweet, really fragrant, unique flavor. I suppose in a way this recipe is sort of French-ish, French-inspired, but a simplified version than a lot of French sauces. So we'll just take a couple of minutes for the little shallots to saute off. I'm going to add one of my favorite ingredients, some Dijon mustard. I always have Dijon mustard and whole grain mustard in the fridge. Just adds a tiny bit of heat, more like warmth to the sauce, and a gorgeous savory, savory taste to it. Give that a little stir around. Good glug of white wine. It's about a cup. I'm just going to guesstimate it. Let this bubble up for about 3 to 4 minutes. Means that the very alcohol taste is actually going to cook out of it, and you'll just be left with the nice winey flavors rather than just an alcohol flavor. So I'm now just stirring in the Dijon mustard. You can see it's going a creamy yellow color. Okay, so I'm going to add in my stock. So that's about a cup of good quality chicken stock. Now my corn flour is used as a thickener, but just a little tip with corn flour is you need to dissolve it in cold water, otherwise it goes lumpy, because it's actually the heat that starts the thickening process. I'm just going to get some cold water out of the tap. So there we go, it's just some cold water out of the tap. About a tablespoon. It's literally just to dissolve it. You see it goes milky and smooth. Our sauce is bubbling away. Excellent. Corn flour in. And you'll see it literally thicken in front of your eyes. I'm going to take this opportunity to add in the tub of Glenelg organic creme fraiche. And in an ideal world, it would be great if you used lovely organic chicken. Obviously our creme fraiche is organic too. It just makes a world of difference in the flavor, the quality, the health benefits of the food that you eat. So I'm going to add my mushrooms back in, and of course my chicken. So if you had a nice big pan, you could pop in all 4 chicken breasts. There we go. And as you can see, that's thickened up beautifully. So chicken in, and our mushrooms. And going to leave it to poach in the sauce for about 15 to 20 minutes on a low heat. The mushrooms themselves will impart their own special flavor to the sauce. And we're going to finish off with the tarragon. Tarragon is a classic French herb. It's got a slightly anise flavor to it. Goes really fantastically well with creamy sauces, with chicken, with mushrooms. So it really is a winner all round. So I'm just going to leave this to simmer gently for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then we'll come back to it. Our chicken's been simmering for 20 minutes, so now it is time to finish it off and plate up. So it's gorgeous and thick and glassy. Creme fraiche, white wine, mushrooms, a little bit of corn flour to thicken it. So it's time to add the tarragon. This tarragon's like basil, it's really soft, it doesn't like a lot of heat. Keep a little bit extra for garnish. Mix that in. Now this is plenty of sauce for at least 4 to 6 servings. So I suggest you serve it with something like creamy mashed potatoes or gratin dauphinoise, so that there's somewhere for all that lovely sauce to go. So get it crispy side up and ladle over a generous quantity of the creamy tarragon and wild mushroom sauce. Can't wait to tuck into this. So there we go. One of my favorite dinner party delights, creamy tarragon and mushroom chicken. I hope you enjoy this meal as much as I do.